You know what? Since we've been playing Diablo quite a bit, because it's pretty fun. I'm not a big Diablo fan, but it's actually pretty fun. We are level 52, just trying to bang out the rest of the side quests and whatnot. Somebody sent in this video. It's called Diablo 4's Megan Fox ad triggers woke feminist media. That's a lot of words. I couldn't have even strung that together myself. I don't have the intellect to put that together. But I saw the ad, I think, on TikTok, and I was just like, oh, this is just kind of weird and cringe, and it made me uncomfortable as a virgin, neckbeard Discord moderator. So I turned it off and I cried. And I hugged my waifu full body pillow. But let's see what this is.
And if there's one thing that's always going to ring true in the modern pop culture world is that someone somewhere is always offended by something. One of the most insufferable groups of the modern age are the feminists. A group so self-loathing they can't help but make everyone as miserable as they are. Okay. I've already covered quite a bit of this kind of stuff recently, like Cammy from Street Fighter being too hot for modern-day feminists to accept.
Well, what did they do? What did they do to Cammy? Did they just make her more clothed? What did the feminists say?
But now it turns out there's another sacrificial lamb.
Bro, can I tell you something though? This is a criticism I have of Diablo 4. 100%. There are not enough boobs in this game. I'm just being honest with you. Okay, like there's girls in the game, but like there's not enough cleavage. And listen, I understand we should have more representation, and they do have good representation in Diablo. You could play a pretty thick girl. You could play a muscular girl. You could play a thin girl. I think you could probably play. Let's see how many girls you could play. So I'm cool with that. But I just need more boobies. And when you zoom in on the characters, you don't see any boobs. So yeah, you could play any ethnicity of a girl. You could play a guy that looks like a girl. I mean, it's incredible stuff. Personally, this is my favorite girl. I just like that body type. I like the thick eyebrows. There's really nothing wrong with it whatsoever. It's pretty hot. But they did a good job with that acceptance of different bodies. That's cool. So
on the woke feminist altar.
But when you zoom in, you can't see boobs.
And that's Megan Fox. This entire butthurt argument comes from the brain rot site known as thegamer.com, which said, Diablo 4's Megan Fox advert is sexist and dated, but it didn't need to be.
It needs to be. I need it. I need to date Megan Fox. No, I'm just kidding. I'm not really into her. She's not really my thing. More of a Lucy Lawless kind of a guy. I'm more of the guy that likes Lucy Lawless, the girl. I don't like guys. Unless... But yeah, no, it was okay, whatever.
You can already smell the fury boiling from this title alone. And look, it's Stacey Henley again as well writing this. She's also responsible for the infamous Cammy outfit article as well.
Should never have been brought back. Oh, why? Listen, I think that there needs to be, or I don't think there needs to be, I don't really care, but I think it's a good thing to have more representation. I think that's a great thing. But that doesn't mean you got to take away my boobs, Well, take away mine. I'm too fat. I don't need them. But don't take away boobs from... I'm a man. I like that stuff. Respectfully, of course. You know what I mean? Respectfully. But I like that stuff. It's cool to me. I'm vibing on it. Like, let everybody have their way. And let's be honest, you guys like boobs too. Feminists like boobs. Who doesn't? Who doesn't like it a little bit? It's just a nice thing to look at. But I can't zoom in and see anything. But if I play Lost Ark, holy mama, you know what I'm saying? But that game isn't as good in my opinion. This game is a little more fun to play with friends.
Well, before we read the article, in case you haven't seen Blizzard's ad featuring Megan Fox, here it is in full.
Diablo 4 is here.
Oh, shit.
It's time for you to meet your bloody fate.
See, look how cringe this ad is.
Post your endgame death with hashtag Diablo Deaths, and in return, I may bestow upon you some words of honor. Or scorn.
And now let's hear out Stacey.
It's just such a cringe ad. It's not even like... she just has her boobs out and she says something stupid. I go, well, who would be really triggered by this?
And I quote, before Diablo 4, the previous Diablo game came out in 2012, and it seems like some of the marketing is stuck there. In one trailer doing the rounds on social media, Megan Fox stands before us in her underwear, telling us in a sultry, slightly disaffected...
I don't think it was underwear. I think it was overwear. Just a little...
...to tone that Diablo 4 has buckets of blood. She also encourages players to send in their best deaths for her to eulogize, where she'll decide if you went out like a champion or a chump. It's a pretty classic case of hiring a hot girl...
Well, they're pushing this like hardcore challenge thing where I think the first 1,000 people to hit level 100 on hardcore get like a statue with their name on it. And I think like only less than 100 people have done it so far. because it's a difficult challenge. I wouldn't want to do it because like I don't want like when you die in hardcore, your character gets I think deleted. My understanding, which is like fine if it gets removed from the hardcore queue or whatever, but like to delete it, that's just fucking unacceptable to me. I could never. I'm only level 54. I have like a level 40 druid. I was playing different things, but like I would be maybe level 60 or 70 by now. The whole time I played. I'm not about the life of like investing all that energy into something and then losing it. That's too much to me.
To promote a video game with an on-the-nose obliviousness we haven't seen since the days of the booth babes. But in the modern world, it makes for an interesting case study. Obviously, there's no need to intellectualize your horniness here. Megan Fox has been hired because she is a recognizable hot girl. Yeah, not just in that she is clearly physically attractive, but for the late 20s to early 30s audience, she is the quintessential hot girl they had on posters in their bedrooms. It's not rocket science. Megan Fox is there to be a hot girl for men to look at and desire. Given how much more inclusive gaming has become, not just as a generic buzzword, but as a tangible demographic, it's not just men playing video games anymore, and when you target only—
Bro, listen, first of all, this game has plenty of body positivity in it. And it is very, oh my god, it's very respectful of women. Okay, you can be a woman lead in the game. You could be an overweight, black woman lead, and I don't even think they call it man or woman. They call it body type. So you could be trans too, and I think that's a great thing. I think if you look at classic WoW, you don't make male or female characters. You make body types, and I'm fine with that. I think that's great. I think that's a very positive thing. But also, let me have boobs. Like that's it. And by the way, fucking gay, black, trans, everybody likes boobies. Like who doesn't like boobs? You know what I'm saying? Like everybody likes them. Oh, this only appeals to men. Girls like boobs too. Girls also like boobs. I think straight women like boobs, but I don't know about that. You know, maybe that's just my male fantasy. But either way. Dude, these things are knocking my tits off. Jesus. Like, who cares? You know, and that is probably their prime demographic. It's probably dudes. Okay. You know, hey, okay, who cares?
Only men, you are ignoring a significant portion of your player base. It's easy to say that Diablo's—
Well, I don't think that ad makes women go, I'm not going to play this game now. I think it just doesn't appeal to those women. Like, what do you want them to do for women? Like, show a hot guy with his fucking cock out. You know what I mean? Like, do that. I'd watch that ad, too. Like, let's make it even for everybody. Like, do that. I'll be the guy. I think I get a lot of gay men to play Diablo. Like, let's do it. I don't give a fuck. I'm all over it, baby. I'm all over it.
Advert is sexist and dated, and given Blizzard is in the midst of several sexual harassment scandals, it's also not a particularly wise promotion or indicative of the studio changing its culture. The people criticizing it aren't wrong, but it's interesting to see an advert so dated in its presentation these days.
No, I think that like the sexual harassment stuff, it doesn't have to be associated with this. They decided to move like somewhat risque photos in World of Warcraft, the dungeons. Like in a mansion dungeon in Karazhan that had like had a girl that wasn't even like naked or anything. Because to respond to the allegations, it's obviously like a bullshit response to it. I think it's fine for them to run this marketing campaign. It's not that deep.
When just a small tweak could have made it a hit. Imagine the advert plays out the exact same way, but instead of Megan Fox, it's Lilith, the game's antagonist. Lilith has an hourglass figure and 4-body frame, has her femininity heightened even with her fearsome physical power. And her words drip sensuously. The same sex appeal, the same
relax,
strategy,
dude. You're making me a
little
chubbed up.
Everything would be fixed. Even Fox dressed as Lilith would change the context. Whether it be Lady Dimitrescu who lures men to their death or Lilith who fuels your basest desire to corrupt you, both of these characters use their sexuality to dominate others. Fox, on the other hand, has been hired to look pretty. She is objectified and her character, this fictional—
Wait, is this that journalist saying this? Wait, what is the difference between Wait, is this the guy reading it? Or is this the journalist saying it? Because if this is the journalist saying that, how can you support Lilith as a— and by the way, I like the character's fine. But how can you, as like this journalist, support Lilith as a character when she was made to use her attractiveness to manipulate men? Same with Lady Damascu or whatever the fuck her name is. They exist to use their attractiveness, like to lure in men. That's a sexist trope in media. So that's okay, which I think it should be. It's fine. Nobody cares. But it's not okay to have Megan Fox look hot. That doesn't make no sense. It ain't making no sense. You would complain about that. This doesn't make you look reasonable. It makes you look like you have no real criticism, that you're lazy and bored.
And sexual version of herself is powerless in this situation, a trophy of fantasy to be looked at and lusted over with no say in the matter. What? And there is a world where Blizzard could have used Megan Fox to hit each demographic.
What are you talking
She's
about,
openly bisexual and raises her children without gender norms and is therefore a popular figure amongst progressives. Show her...
Wait, if she does that, then the virtue of her existence will validate that. Because apparently she's known for that. I don't care. That means nothing to me. But like the fact that she apparently that's her backstory, would that not resonate with people? Of like, oh my god, she raises her kid down by weird. I don't know why you would do that, but whatever. Like, God bless you, do you? Celebrities are wild, bro. I don't know. Whatever. Anyway, them even using her would by itself just be like an affirmation to like non gender norms or whatever bullshit. So yeah, who gives a fuck?
Playing the game and
this person has no argument.
Teasing the camera a little bit, and you get the sex appeal of Fox along with more personality. What? Having her stand there in her underwear and delivering lines like a findom doesn't have the same impact. Blizzard's advert is sexist and dated, but there are million little changes that could have saved it, end
This
quote.
is a dumb
Look, I know
article.
I crap a lot on thegamer.com, but my god, it's incredible they always find a way to victimize themselves on others' behalf, don't they?
Yeah.
Megan Fox is without a doubt smoking hot. Anyone who really says otherwise is either
Not
jealous
really my
or
type, but
blind.
she's got nice
While
boobs.
the gamer does make a good point that Blizzard does smokescreen their controversy with other news stories, like announcing something identity related for Overwatch 2, for example, to hide employees drinking each other's breast milk. In this case, anyway.
Whoa, wait.
This ad for Overwatch 2, for example,
Damn, somebody stole her breast milk. But like, listen, I can understand being curious about what it tastes like.
hide employees drinking each other's breast milk.
Damn.
In this case, anyway, this ad is great and is exactly what Diablo needs to sell.
I mean, if I had some cereal and I had nothing else to use, bro, I'm all about that life, baby. Yeah, I ain't give a fuck. I got to do something. I can't let those golden grams go to waste.
Said before, consumers love attractive people selling them stuff. It's why you always see actors and models when things like cologne or makeup is being advertised.
Yeah, true.
Nobody wants to see unattractive people trying to sell them something. And when companies push that, you end up with stuff like that Dove gaming ad, which was hilariously out of touch.
Maybe it was a little out of touch, but I mean, I think that that girl in the ad could get it. To be honest with you.
Sexy women sell stuff. It's not exactly rocket science, and I'm obviously not the first or last person who will say that. I also find it funny how the gamer says Megan Fox's portrayal here is reminiscent of the booth babes from E3.
I think that Dove ad was fine to try to create like more inclusivity of like different bodies is fine. I have no problem with that, as long as they're not saying take away boobs, because I need those too.
A long time ago, back in 2006, God I'm old, EA banned the booth babe shtick from their event, citing it was sexist and was only used to objectify women. But the thing is, if you want to sell your...
I think that's okay. I think it's okay to not have like booth babes. It's a little bit more of like a personal... I mean, whatever. I guess I don't really give a shit. We're having conversations every day about reducing the amount of sexuality that's pushed onto like kids and stuff. So like whatever. I guess I'm fine with that. I don't have a strong opinion on it. I'm not going to say that's like horrible I'm not going to be like super anti-feminist on that point.
Your products, a really easy way to do it is to hire some hot ladies and the rest is gravy. Why do you think when you go to a restaurant it's usually full of attractive people waiting to help you? Because it's been proven that...
Well, I don't really go to Hooters. But okay.
Customers will return to a business if the staff are attractive. It's how
I guess, but then like if you look at the implication of that, let's just talk about like a regular restaurant, like not Hooters, and then like what you're saying is you're only going to hire people that are considered attractive, so you get more money, and then that would exclude some people from the job. When it comes to Hooters, it's different. That's like the business model, but like fundamentally, I don't think that like you need to operate a business like that. But sure, I get the point.
Bars and restaurants gain regular patrons that come by to see their favorite servers. I mean, Japan has an entire industry built around the freaking concept. Yeah. What's also funny is how the gamer Stacey Henley is so against anything that she deems offensive against the feminine sphere. But I'll wager if she's like any other feminist out there, she probably advocates that stuff like sex work is real work. And since the legitimization of sexual work is a big thing progressives like to champion, it's ironic they're mad when women use their sexuality to make money like Megan Fox is doing here.
That's actually a good point. I mean, Megan Fox is a person with her own agency and autonomy, and she's decided to make a sexualized ad of herself for money.
Yet have no problem when someone is getting their holes resized behind a monthly subscription fee. It's such a tiring and oftentimes selective form of outrage that is no doubt pushed by places like the gamer because they don't like hot women. But it's ironic that this sort of criticism only ever goes one way, because if it was Henry Cavill in a tight shirt with a beard telling you to play Diablo, these same feminists would be throwing themselves at him like World War Z zombies. And I'd also like to point out that once E3 banned booth babes, the entire event slowly over time began to fade into irrelevancy. E3 as a whole was eventually replaced by things like Nintendo Directs and Sony State of Plays. Because promoting at E3 was both expensive as hell and largely from a physical standpoint anyway, there was no reason for it to exist.
Okay.
So in a lot of ways, I guess you could say one of the major reasons E3 died was because they eliminated one of the key reasons why anyone would want to show up in person in the first place, which is the booth babes.
I mean, that could be it, or maybe the event had a lot of other issues as well. And the booth babe thing was just like a cover-up to try to make them seem like more virtuous or something.
We've seen already how companies lose money when they don't cater to male audiences and the things that they like. Saints Row, for example, was a successful franchise that pushed toilet humor and busty babes. But once the progressives infiltrated Volition, they threw what worked out of Saints Row and made a reboot about a bunch of nobodies, and the game flopped. But when companies do cater to the male audience, it's no surprise that they get rewarded big time. Diablo 4 right now is...
I think there's a way to cater to like your core audience. We're not even going to say the male audience. We're going to your core audience, because like men tend to play video games while also creating inclusivity, whatever, for other audiences. And I think that generally speaking, of all the criticisms to have of Blizzard, one of them is that like they do a good job at that representation. They do a good job of like giving men what they want, some thick thighs and stuff and curves, but at the same time they also like create spaces that women might want to play. Like they don't do it in a way that's considered disrespectful, you know? So I think Blizzard does a decent job at that. Yeah, what the hell?
Blizzard's biggest launch of all time. And it's because Blizzard is doing everything the complete opposite of what they're doing with Overwatch. Let me show you what I mean. Overwatch 2 pushes woke gender ideologies and does things like ban police cars on multiplayer maps. Because progressives don't like police, yet if they're in trouble, who do they call? Yeah, I know, it's stupid as hell. Anyway, Overwatch is marketed as inclusive and full of rainbows and stuff, and that franchise is dying. Diablo...
I mean, I don't think that the Overwatch franchise is dying because of inclusivity. I think it's dying because they're promising things that they're not delivering. Did they ban police cars? Overwatch 2 removes cop cars from Pride versions of map. That's fucking dumb as shit. Okay. But yeah, I really don't think that's what it is. This is the problem, is that the people will add inclusivity in spaces, which is fine. It's not a bad thing necessarily at all, really. But they'll do that in place of making a decent product. And that's why I feel like a lot of these movies that will, you know, maybe race swap characters or make a character gay or something, that they don't do well, because not because of the inclusivity, but because they'll say, oh, we did inclusivity, so now we don't really have to do anything else. We can be very lazy in everything else about the show or the movie or whatever we're doing. I think that's what really hurts the brand more than anything else, is that problem. And I think I'm fucking frozen, bro. Get the hell out of here. I think that's the bigger issue here. And maybe Overwatch is doing that because what did they like? They couldn't do a promise on PvE. What did they have, like 3 years? They were in the making for like 3 years. Wasn't that the whole reason that they decided to make Overwatch 2? Was because of that? Was because they were going to do PvE and they never delivered on it. So.
On the other hand, has lots of blood, lusty demon women who look like they could throw me across the room, and use sexuality in its marketing to coerce players, and the results speak for themselves. Look, you can sit there, arms crossed.
Coerce players?
Other hand has lots of blood, lusty demon women who look like they could throw me across the room, and use sexuality in its marketing to coerce players, and the results speak for themselves.
Hey, coerce?
Look, you can sit there, arms crossed, huffing and puffing all you want that gamers are sexist, but let's be real. Dudes like sexy women with mommy milkers. Like, am I wrong?
Well, some gamers tend to be sexist. Like, online spaces tend to be very sexist, but I think that, like, a lot of companies have done a pretty good amount to try to curb that behavior in different communities. So that's a good thing, of course.
Why am I even asking? Of course I know I'm right. Comment you're right if you agree, because I already know I am, but I just want to prove a point. There's that other part of the Gamers Rant where they say Megan Fox is woke and raises her kids without gender norms, and they should have showcased her sitting on a couch having fun and making quips, but it's rated M for mature. Why would Megan Fox's weird little crotch goblins be featured in a commercial about a game they're not even legally allowed to buy? Also, why does it matter how Megan Fox raises her kids? Most people phase out of that gender stuff when they reach adulthood anyway. It has no place when it comes to showcasing Diablo.
I mean, they might. You know, I think that there are probably some people that are young that are kind of just like whatever experimenting. But I don't. Hopefully we're not implying that people will grow out of gender dysphoria, because I've heard that before, but that might be me just being a little too woke. Are you dog whistling right now? My wife's boyfriend said. It's very. I should probably do a video on the wizard. What was it? The gaming wizard or whatever, the history wizard, because that's where I get that joke from.
Diablo 4. This is a game about ripping demons into flesh confetti, not rainbow flags and pronouns. And having a hot girl promote your game is going to do two things for sure. One is that it'll push people to buy the game if they were on the fence about it, and two, it'll make many men's downstairs rise like a Batman in The Dark Knight Rises. And we all know men tend to make moronic decisions when they think with their other head, which I'm sure Blizzard is counting on here when it comes to buying Diablo. And honestly, kudos to them. This ad is like a 4D chess move that has no counter. It's brilliant.
Well, no, the ad was shit. Let's be real. Like, the ad was fine. It's just, it was just Megan Fox with her boobs out. It was a boring ad. I didn't really care about it either way. I mean, I like boobies, but like, it was a boring ad. What ends up making it work, though, is that people are apparently, and it doesn't seem like it was a lot of people, but if people start getting outraged over it, then that's going to drive up sales. Like, that's what people have been doing. That's why everybody is trying to get Dylan Mulvaney to promote their product, because you get a lot of views. Apparently, it didn't do well for Budweiser, but that was kind of the idea, is like, oh, well, we get a lot of viewership if we have this person's, advertise for us in some capacity. And so if it did accomplish that goal, then like, yeah, it would go really well. I don't think that this was bait, though. I don't think this was like anti-feminist bullshit bait. I think that this was just like happened to be a thing. I don't even know that a lot of people are complaining about it, to be honest with you. It doesn't really seem like too many people really are. It seems like it's just like a select few that are crybabies. Little silly crybabies.
Hey, good job, Rogue. I love that part where you panicked and got crushed like an itty-bitty baby.
Damn, go.
Although I will agree with the gamer when they suggest that Megan Fox should have cosplayed as Lilith for the commercial. I'm just saying, seeing Megan Fox with some horns and some CGI wings, calling us all naughty, I'm just saying, but it's no surprise that this...
Yeah, but they probably didn't do that because it was cheaper to just have her dressed in like that outfit and just like have her go on. You know, they probably just did it in like that was probably filmed in like an hour. Megan Fox is probably just like in the area. Megan, would you like to do this for us real quick?
Diablo ad will work when it comes to selling the game because there's tons of people out there who have kink shames. And you're telling me Blizzard will get Megan Fox to kink shame us if we send in our terrible Diablo deaths? It's genius marketing.
Good riddance to you. Not because I wish you ill, but because when you go down, you do it with style. You've got flair.
Damn, could you imagine that there is people that are really like, oh my god, Megan Fox likes it when I get, Megan Fox, I'm gonna show you me dying. That'd be weird as hell.
I could watch you die all day.
Maybe first place winners could get a trip to Pegland while they're at it. Or I mean, it's just a suggestion, of course. Lady D for Mezzy 8 is proof that sexiness can propel your game to massive heights, and I wouldn't be surprised if Lilith looking the way she does didn't have some connection to Lady D's massive mommy figure too. Look, we can sit here all day dancing around the idea and lie to ourselves by saying we don't like seeing sexy stuff, but let's just say it for what it is. Mama. Sexy women are like the cheat code to promoting things. What was that saying again? Sex sells? Whoever came up with that was cooking for real. Because it's absolutely...
What was that saying again? It's a pretty basic saying, but yeah, I get what you're saying.
Regardless of the era we're living in. Feminists can want all the censorship and ugly Dove gaming ads they want, but if Blizzard wants to...
Listen. Let's not say all feminists are bad because this one person is like insane. Overall, there's still some places for some feminism, okay? I get it. I get some places, but, you know, inclusivity in games is good. But excluding sexy women is bad because that's not inclusive. To get rid of sexy women is not inclusivity, guys. Think about it like that, you know?
Keep the Diablo gravy train going, they better double down and get some even more sexy ladies to promote their games. They could literally have a 10-second ad where Megan Fox calls the audience bad boys and girls, and people would start barking without constraint in response. It's not hard, guys. Stop trying to act holier than thou and believe there's some feminist way we can sell products without using sexuality. When the truth is that sexuality is femininity. Women are by nature beautiful creatures.
I think a lot of people bought Diablo without all the sexiness attached to it, but I get what you're saying.
And any woman out there who doesn't recognize that their inherent beauty doesn't give them an advantage is straight up lying. And just to quickly dismantle Stacey Henley's point further, she also says in the article that the Diablo ad ignores the female side of the player base with how Megan Fox is depicted. Hello? In what universe are most women not in some way also attracted to sexy women? If you had some frumpy feminist...
Well, not just that, but not like, if anything, then your criticism is just like make an ad to pull in women too with like a sexy guy. That would be your criticism. But at the end of the day, they're probably making... I feel like most of the women who play this game are probably like wives and girlfriends of guys who are like, this game's really good. Because it's actually not bad, and you could play it. As a girl, you could play this game. I'm gonna try to get my wife to play. We can play together. It'll be fun. That'll be cool. Oh God, I'm waiting. Wait for this ad to come in, or this bit alert to pop into the old chat room.
Jesus Christ, super chatted $10. Thank you, Jesus Christ, companies should just use femboy instead of women.
True.
Men and women both love them whether they admit it or not. Keep the luscious curves, fire the women.
I agree.
Based gay patriarchy is the way forward.
I agree with that, actually. As a sexist myself, I agree with I agree with that sentiment. How many points do I get on this thing?
Nick Cardigan yelling about the patriarchy in a Diablo ad, fans' wallets would dry up faster than a feminist you-know-what. So if any marketing person is watching this, don't listen to thegamer.com on this at all. We want more sexy ladies in video games, more babes in media, and absolutely keep doing things like Blizzard did here with Megan Fox. Women are beautiful creatures, and it'd be a shame to not embrace that. So stop trying to push the narrative that sexy women shouldn't be shown in media. That's how we ended up in this ugly and boring era of character designs in the first place. What
are you talking about? I didn't think that was like a problem. I mostly heard this video, but that's like a weird. What do you mean? Like, what ugly character design are we experiencing? I think that there's more diverse, but like Zarya can get it. You know, I know she's a lesbian, but you know what I'm saying? Show me BBWs too, dude.
Absolutely sells, and my dear friends, there ain't a damn thing that the Gamer or any other woke feminist website can do about it, and I'm all here for it. Like the video to help the channel out, subscribe for more content like this one, and thank you for watching as always. Have a great day, bless Megan Fox's twin sisters, and I'll see you in the next one.
Gored him. All right, cool video. Actually, it wasn't too bad. I thought that was going to be like a lot worse. I was pretty much agreed with it.